Alright, let's add some sound. I'm just doing the cheesiest thing here. We're not going to get into sound editing yet. And so what I did is I just went to the Mac OS, OS 10, went to the system, went into the library, and they have just the system sounds here. And I'm pulling one out here called Frog. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Flash and say File, Import to Library. Woo. And it will prepare however it has to. Okay. And that was under Mac OS 10, System, Library, Sounds, Frog. And I will open that. And it shows up here, and you'll notice the icon looks like a little sound, a little speaker with some sound coming out of it. And the longer she blows, I believe we can test it by clicking play here. So, yeah, really unspectacular. But the key to this is that it's really short, so this will work well for our button click. I'm going to go back to the button. I want this to happen on the down. So I'm going to add a new layer. Right click, insert blank keyframe. And now I'm going to drag my sound out onto the stage. And nothing will change on the stage because sound is not visible. But it will show up here in the down state as a little bit of a sound wave. Now, if I go and click on this and go to Properties, it says I've got a sound attached. It's called Frog AIFF. You can add effects, but not now. You can also edit the sound a bit here, the envelope. But the thing I want you to pay attention to here is the event and repeat settings. That we want to set this to event, and an event sound means that the sound is going to play regardless of what's happening anywhere else in the timeline. It's not timeline dependent. So if we had, the Star Spangled Banner here, it would play through the entire ding dang Star Spangled Banner, even after you stop the playback of the movie. So an event sound, if it's on a long sound, can be incredibly annoying. So if you have that thing where you lose control of your timeline, it's probably because you have a long sound set to an event. That being said, event sounds are perfect for short sounds in a game or an interactive environment where they have to play back and you don't want to tie them up with the timeline. The other type of events, there's start and stop. The other one I wanted to point out is stream. And streaming is what you would use in an animation where you want the dialogue track to be synced up with something that's happening on the stage. So you do want the sounds to be timeline dependent or related to what's actually happening on the timeline. But for our sound effect here, we don't. So we leave it at event. You'll also notice there's a repeat. We'll just leave it to the default, which is 1. I go back to my scene, test the movie. Here we go. And so now when I click that button, I get a sound.